We good to go? Are we live? Weather Center. So here's the situation. We remain under the level 3 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center threat for severe storms tonight. As of right now, we've had a whole lot of nothing. It's cloudy. It's very windy out there. We've got wind gusts to 30. They're sustained at 22 right now out of the southeast. You can see the camera jiggling on top of our tower here at the KHOU studios. We're on Westheimer. You can see there's the Williams Tower right there. And we're socked in with clouds, and this has been and will be a big factor in what happens tonight with our severe threat. These clouds are keeping the sunshine at bay. We've had no sunshine at all. Because of that, we have not warmed up much. We're 75, we're in the mid-70s. I really think, looking at this, if we were going to have a larger severe threat tonight, we would have to have temperatures up at or at least 80 degrees, and that's not going to happen. We're already past max heating, so we're not going to reach 80. Why is that so important? Take a look across the area. Sugar Land is 76, Conroe 72, Hobby 75. That's it. I don't think we're getting any warmer than that. We would have to really have the sun come out and warm us quickly to 80 or above to give us a bigger threat. Why is this important? It's because we are capped. So several thousand feet up, here's the surface, several thousand feet up into the atmosphere, we have what we call a cap. This is a layer of warm air. And in order to break that layer and allow storms to develop and become big thunderstorms, we have to break that warm layer of air. The only way to do that is to get heating down here at the surface. The temperature here has to be hotter than the temperature in the cap to break the cap and allow for storms to develop. Now, this is something that we watch for on summer afternoons here in Houston all the time. We start warm and humid, we're clear, and then that cap breaks. And when that cap breaks, usually because of daytime heating from the sunshine, that allows enough warmth and it breaks the cap when we get violent thunderstorms going. And that was a possibility this afternoon and this evening. But because we're not getting that daytime heating, we're just not getting it. We're only mid-70s. We're not going up into the 80s. It doesn't look like we're going to have enough energy to do this, to break the cap. That's good news. That lowers our severe threat significantly. So what's happening right now? Well, we have widespread very light rain showers, and they're drifting north, but that has not broken the cap. How do we know if we're breaking the cap? We can tell. All you got to do is look for the lightning. So up here north, south and west of Dallas, they've got thunderstorms up here. When you see lightning, and I'm tracking this thunderstorm here southwest of Fort Worth, they've had 22 strikes here in the past 15 minutes, 10 negative, 12 positive. The negative strikes are more powerful. When you see lightning, that means that storm has broken the cap. And it's tapping all that energy through the vertical column of the atmosphere. So we'll be looking for lightning to know where the cap is breaking, and these are the ones that can very quickly become violent and produce winds and a tornado. But as you saw, we have no lightning in our area, and I think it's doubtful that we're going to have much lightning at all in the area, at least until the actual cold front comes through. That'll be late tonight. And by the time that happens, we're going to be toward midnight. We'll have cooled the atmosphere, and I think our severe threat is low. I really do. We're going to watch it carefully, but I think it's low. Storm Prediction Center still has Houston in a 3 out of 5, basically I-10 northward. And if you've watched us at 10 o'clock in particular, we've been showing you the jet stream structure over the past couple of days. And we've talked about how, well, if you look at the structure, it's up north towards Shreveport where the upper level winds are really divergent. That's where we think the tornado threat really is. Storm Prediction Center has actually, it took them a day to catch up with us. And they now say, yeah, that's probably where the bad stuff is going to be. So Shreveport to Dallas has a much higher risk threat. Obviously we're close, so we're going to watch it. But here is that jet stream. And you'll see oftentimes television stations will put like a ribbon like this, and it'll be labeled, have the words jet stream moving through it. It's an oversimplification, and it doesn't do the job. You've got to look at the internal structure of the jet stream to really know where the storm threat is. And in this case, where is the upper level divergence? So these are winds at 34,000 feet, way up top. Well, look, going north and then going northeast. So this is where it's divergent in North Texas and the Arklatex, not down here in Houston. That divergence is important because just spread your fingers. See how it creates a gap? So those gaps, that's a vacuum. When you get a vacuum up there at 34,000 feet, it is much more likely that any storm that forms here will have updrafts, as that vacuum way up top sucks that air up, and they can become very violent updrafts. They can updrafts of 150 miles an hour in some of these storms. That's what supports big hailstones. That's also what can cause violent tornadoes. And that happens where you've got that upper level divergence, and that is up here, not down here in Houston. If you've been watching us, I think we started looking at this Tuesday or Wednesday. You already know this. This is, again, is a depiction of the upper level winds. Look where the split is. Dallas. Not so much in Houston. It's close. We're borderline. We're watching it, but these are the the little details that it really takes to forecast severe weather outbreaks. This is another look at winds at different levels in the atmosphere. So here's our jet stream. And then this is the wind you're feeling right now, coming off the Gulf of Mexico, coming out of the southeast. And at the surface, it's gusting to 30. You can feel that down here where we're walking around. Up at about 1,000 feet or so, it's blowing at about 65 to 75 miles an hour. It's really ripping. And that is just pumping in all kinds of moisture. That's energy for these storms. And you can see this is going to be our convergence zone at the surface, right up and down the I-35 corridor at 8 o'clock. So that's where the thunderstorms will be at 8 o'clock. That's where they should be. Let's see if we are correct. Well, going into 5 o'clock, this is the way the forecast models are forecasting the radar to look like. At 5 o'clock, there's our line of storms beginning to develop right where it should be, right along that I-35 corridor. Here in Houston, we're just getting a few sprinkle showers, basically nothing except a windy, cloudy afternoon. So we'll move forward in time, going into 9 o'clock, and there's the line of storms, still out there toward Waco, between Waco and College Station. And we're getting scattered showers and a gusty south wind. This is the time when I'll be watching very carefully to see if any of these showers can break the cap. But boy, it looks unlikely. But that's what we're going to be watching for. If I see lightning, we'll know we're breaking the cap. But the computer model, this is the latest run, this does not suggest we're going to break the cap. In fact, it puts what I would describe as a ragged line of scattered thunderstorms through here at midnight. Now, maybe some of these will have some lightning with it right along that frontal boundary. It is not out of the question that we could have a little spin up, a very isolated small tornado right along some of these cells as that line races through. But those that form on the line are usually very, very weak, very short-lived, not those long track Kansas tornadoes. And that line's pushing into Beaumont, Winnie, Liberty by 2 a.m. So, after midnight, downtown Houston's done. That will continue to race east. And it's in Lake Charles by 5 a.m. And in fact, by that time, we've got a west wind. We're clearing out. It's going to get chilly. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Rain totals, nope, no flood threat, not at all. This is probably the biggest takeaway from all of this, is that this severe weather outbreak, possibly, is not going to produce enough rain to threaten any type of flooding. So you can go to bed tonight. I would keep download the app, turn on notifications so that if you do get a severe weather warning where you live, you'll know about it. It'll wake you up. You can take action. But as far as flooding threat, no. You can enjoy the rain. It's not going to flood. Here's your 7-day. Weekend's gorgeous. Oops. Got to take that out. And then next week, we do have the southwest flow, and so we will bring in at least slight chances for scattered showers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but that, at the moment, should not be a big deal. So a lot to watch tonight. Everything updated on the 411 at 4 o'clock. We'll update the models. And this evening, we'll be with you online, on the air. And hopefully, we'll just be able to get through this with a little bit of rain, maybe a few claps of thunder, and that'll be it. There is still a chance for some isolated severe, and we'll watch it carefully. All right, we'll see you live at 4 o'clock.
Didn't know if you wanted me to bring off some questions.
Are we still live?
No, I think he probably
Ended it, all right.
We can do it later. We have all night.
Yeah.